Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. A woman is jailed for cyber-stalking a man for 4 years after meeting him for less than a minute.
She tried to weaponise the internet, and we've had 4 or 5 years of constant abuse, and today, finally, justice has been served.
Samantha Wall sent hundreds of abusive messages online to Brad Burton and a businesswoman, Naomi Timperley. Also tonight, the young people who survived the Manchester Arena attack tell us they feel forgotten about. The invasive hornet threatening the Northwest's honeybees. The first nest is found in Runcorn.
It's the impact of this invasive species coming in and actually affecting our natural pollinators who are already under pressure from temperature rising and chemical pressures.
Try again, other way.
Always being there for their little brother, now Max and Tom are shortlisted for a national award. A Stockport woman has been jailed for stalking a man online for 4 years, even though she'd only met him for less than a minute. Samantha Wall accused Brad Burton of making death threats, breaking her windows and killing her cat, but all the allegations were false. She also targeted businesswoman Naomi Timperley online. The 55-year-old social media consultant pleaded guilty last November to charges of stalking and sending false messages. Phil Cunliffe reports.
You're going to love him. Please welcome to the stage, Brad Burton.
It's the story of how a chance encounter can ruin your life. Brad Burton from Salford is a self-employed motivational speaker. When he spoke at this workshop, the audience included Samantha Wall. Afterwards, they had a brief conversation lasting less than a minute, shared a photo, and she left a glowing video review.
Today was absolutely inspirational.
But 2 years later, she started attacking him online. Day after day, she accused him of making death threats, breaking her windows, and even killing her cat. All lies. The stalking went on for 4 years. The story of how it wrecked Brad's business and his health has been told by BBC Panorama.
She was painting a picture that somewhere along the way that I had done all these things and I was trying to cover it up. Social media, the way it works, is guilty until proven innocent.
Mr Burton, though, wasn't the only victim of Wall's relentless lies. Naomi Timperley from Manchester didn't know Samantha Wall, yet for 2.5 years she was subjected to a torrent of abuse and false allegations by her.
Just the weirdest things. Accusing me of stalking her, that's been her narrative, accusing me of all sorts of different things.
Today, outside Manchester Crown Court, Naomi and Brad spoke of their relief after Samantha Wall was jailed for online stalking.
It's been a guilty till proven innocent, and today we proved that everything that woman had put together, she tried to weaponise the internet, and we've had 4 or 5 years of constant abuse, and today, finally, justice has been served.
We've had a number of people come forward to us saying that they're going through the same thing. If you are, report it, it's illegal. Make sure you gather the evidence and make sure you're as supportive of the police as much as possible. But I am relieved and I can start healing now.
Both victims complained to the social media companies about Wall's posts, but they have not been taken down.
I think the social media have got some culpability in this. They have been LinkedIn specifically. They say that Sam's posts, thousands of posts, proven to be lies today in a Crown Court. Don't break their terms and conditions, and they don't tolerate harassment and bullying. Well, tell me why the woman who's doing 28 months today in prison.
In mitigation, defending barrister Miss Emma Clark said that the defendant had a chronic delusional mental disorder. The judge, though, said the scale of Wall's online campaign was breathtaking. He gave her 28 months, with half her sentence to be spent in jail. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Manchester.
22 people died and more than 100 were physically injured when a bomb was detonated at the Manchester Arena in 2017. Many more people suffered psychological damage. And 8 years on, some of the younger victims say that they feel that they've been forgotten. They're now calling for more support as they try to navigate their adult years. A help centre was made available at the time, but not everyone could use it. Mairead Smith reports.
12-year-old Callie and her sister Katie at the Ariana Grande concert.
It was our first concert on our own. So Mum was like, this is a big trusting event. Like, I'm putting a lot of trust into you both. She messaged me at like 10:31 asking if it was finished because she'd heard the bang and she thought it was fireworks.
That bang was the bomb. The sisters from Blackpool weren't physically hurt, but the impact on Callie's mental health has heightened as she's got older.
In daily life, I'm always looking around everywhere I go, checking like to see where the nearest exits are and where I can leave if I need to leave.
In the aftermath of the attack, Greater Manchester Resilience Hub was set up to offer young people help and support. Pennine Care NHS Foundation Trust said the hub had helped thousands of people and was still open and received referrals most weeks. But for some teenagers like Callie, it was too far to travel, and when they tried to find help closer to home, they struggled. Callie, now 21, reached out for help again last year.
It's probably another year waiting list.
How does that make you feel?
Quite angry, to be honest, sometimes, and frustrated because it feels like we've been forgotten about.
Callie is part of a group set up by her mum and others after the attack. It's where she met Abby, whose mum was also one of the founders. Abby was 13 at the time. Now 21, she feels she was failed by mental health services as a teenager.
I was just really getting comfortable with my counsellor, I was getting really comfortable with her, and then it was just all of a sudden that's your last session.
What impact did that have on you?
I just built a bond with someone that I was finally feeling comfortable with to speak about my feelings. To have that comfort just taken away from you, it feels like, well, what was the point in it in the first place? We was getting somewhere.
The Home Office says it remains focused on providing the best possible support, and a dedicated support hub is planned to be up and running by summer 2026. Callie and Abby hope the service will be specialised.
I think a lot of us would be in a very different place if we received the support that we were promised, and I think going forward that should be changed.
Everyone on that night has different experiences, so we'll be feeling different things, and I think that there really needs to be more awareness and acknowledgement of that.
Mairead Smith, BBC Northwest Tonight, Blackpool.
A man who caused the death of a taxi passenger in Lancashire after driving at 90 miles an hour in a 30 zone has been jailed. Jez Shepherd crashed the stolen car he was in into the taxi on Westgate in Morecambe in August. Wayne Putley, who was the rear seat passenger in the taxi, died. Shepherd from Morecambe, who was high on drugs at the time, has been handed a 15-year sentence. Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service has confirmed that no one has been injured after part of a tower block collapsed in Manchester city centre. The building, Alberton House, near Spinningfields, which is owned by Bruntwood Demolition Site, collapsed this afternoon with debris falling into the River Irwell. A charity has warned that increasing the Isle of Man's minimum wage by nearly 10% will put pressure on public services. Politicians approved the new rate for the island in this week's Tynwald sitting. It means from April 2026, the base wage for any Manx worker will go from £12.25 to £13.46 an hour. Crossroads Care says it will drive up the cost of care and cause a reduction in services.
The only thing we could do is to reduce our output, to reduce care. Absolutely awful, you know? And who's going to pick up that care is my question to government.
Martin Mere Wetland Centre in Lancashire has closed temporarily due to a possible case of avian flu. The centre says that they're taking the measures to prevent the spread of the disease and working with the relevant government agencies.
That's Boss Scran.
That big thumbs up comes from the Japanese ambassador who tried the Merseyside delicacy scouse for the first time today during a trip to Liverpool. Hiroshi Suzuki met Metro Mayor Steve Rotheram to help deepen the relationship between Japan and the region, as well as enjoying the traditional meat stew. Now, a warning has been issued to beekeepers in the region after an aggressive predator hornet was found in Cheshire. Yellow-legged hornets, also known as Asian hornets, are not native to the UK and threaten honeybees and other insects. A nest was recently confirmed in Runcorn, and residents across the region are being asked to report any possible sightings of them. Here's our environment correspondent, Judy Hobson.
This is the yellow-legged hornet, also known as the Asian hornet, an invasive species that can eat hundreds of insects, and their favourite food is the honeybee.
And there we have bees on a frame, putting the nectar and the pollen into the honeycomb.
Confirmation that yellow-legged hornets have been found in Runcorn has alarmed beekeepers across the region.
In Stockport, we have 250 members. And if the Asian hornet gets a foothold, then they can easily wipe out hives. So for the hobby beekeeper, it could mean the end of their beekeeping experience.
The hornet's tactic is to hover in front of a hive, trapping the honeybees inside.
The bees become aware that these predators are here. They don't come out because they know they're going to get killed, and they use the food that's in the hive, and eventually the hive will die.
Yellow-legged hornet nests have been appearing on the south coast of England since 2016. They first arrived in Europe in 2004, and in France they've caused significant harm to the honeybee population.
Between 30 to 60% of beekeepers have had to give up beekeeping because of the challenge. They're highly predatory on honeybees. We know that one nest will predate 11 kilograms of insects. So it's the impact of this invasive species coming in and actually affecting our natural pollinators who are already under pressure from temperature rising and chemical pressures.
Their sting is no more dangerous than a wasp's, but hornets can build nests nearer to the ground, making them easier to disturb.
On their own, they're not particularly aggressive, but if you happen to disturb the nest or get in close proximity of the nest, they will aggregate and deliver multiple stings. There have been 6 deaths in 1 year in France.
Super easy to use. You can literally just click on to report your sighting.
The advice is for us all to be vigilant and to report any potential sighting on the app called Asian Hornet Watch.
As you can see, it's got this real black body and these bright yellow legs. We don't really know absolutely what effect they could have on local wildlife. The most important message actually is to just be aware.
The response to a sighting can be very high-tech. A hornet can be fitted with a tracker or even just tinsel, leading bee teams straight to the nest.
Take a photo and send it through, and then what will happen then? The National Bee Unit will come out, validate the photo. They'll then put monitors in place to track the area, find the nest, and then they'll destroy the nest and analyse that for the genetics.
And it's the genetic testing that will help the National Bee Unit to try to establish how a yellow-legged hornet came to be in Runcorn. It's possible a queen hitched a ride on a container.
So they're just storing nectar and pollen as their food for the winter.
Meanwhile, beekeepers across the region remain on high alert. They hope these invasive invaders can be kept at bay for as long as possible. Judy Hobson, BBC North West Tonight, Stockport.
So watch out for those pesky hornets. Next, let's get some more stories that are being read in the North West this evening. Inspectors have found that patients were treated in unsafe and unsuitable areas as Arrow Park Hospital struggled to cope with the level of demand amid pressures on staffing levels. Counter-terrorism officers are looking for several witnesses to the deadly attack on a Manchester synagogue to come forward. 2 men died in the attack earlier this month. And fans of the rapper and singer Pitbull have dressed up like him to take part in a 5-kilometre run in Manchester city centre. Find out why and read more on those stories at bbc.co.uk/local news or go to the BBC News app. Now, look at this. Beautiful. Liverpool's River of Light Festival begins this evening, transforming the waterfront into an open-air gallery. This year's theme combines art and science, and Anna Jameson went along to take a look.
The nights may well be darker, but in Liverpool, it's glowing with light and colour.
It is something different every time, and to be inspired by beautiful artist inventions that are kind of really ethereal and magical, and that's what's so beautiful about this iteration.
There's 10 installations to choose from, and this year's theme is the science of light.
It's kind of loosely based around themes of AI, surveillance, and kind of thinking about how you can use them to make a very immersive installation for the public.
So the idea is you take a photo on the red carpet, and then you come around here and your face magically appears on this board. It's pretty creepy.
You know, it's one of those things where you build something and then you put it in the public space, and you just need to see how people interact with it and what they take away from it. And, you know, if it prompts a conversation, that's really great.
Last year, it brought in £18 million to the local economy.
I think it's a really good light show. I think it's great if you've got children as well. They need to see stuff like this in the city.
Normally I hibernate in winter, but I think it's something that actually brings me out in the dark and the cold, because it lights everything up and it looks gorgeous.
Gets you out the house.
Gets me out the house, and the dog as well.
What do you hope people take away?
For me, it's always wonder. And I think that's the thing with art versus science as well. I think art can really make people wonder, like how is this done? And they can maybe hope that they can extend on themselves and be more creative.
The 3-kilometre route is open until Sunday, the 2nd of November. Anna Jameson, BBC North West Tonight in Liverpool.
It is brilliant, isn't it? Really, really impressive. We're going to move on to sport now, and it's a big weekend. Well, an intriguing weekend, I suppose, Ian, for particularly 2 of our teams.
Yeah, so many footballing questions to be answered, Annabelle. I've also got a question. Have I put my phone on silent over there? But anyway, that's irrelevant right now. Questions that can include Liverpool. Can they end their run of 3 Premier League defeats in a row away at Brentford? And can Manchester United make it 3 wins in a row? Of course, last weekend came supply.
Yeah, we used the good spirit of winning games. We know that was a good weekend for us, but our focus is in the next game. That is in the past, and we, especially in this kind of club, so we are not thinking in the last game. We are thinking on this game is going to be really hard to win.
Not that hard, I hope. On Sunday, Manchester City are at Aston Villa. Burnley go to Wolves, while Everton hosts Tottenham. On to the Championship, and it's been a bad few days for Preston North End. They've lost twice in a week, though were unlucky to say the least. In Tuesday's 1-0 defeat to Birmingham City, they're now down to 11th in the table, and tonight hosts Sheffield United, the club manager Paul Heckingbottom led to and managed in the Premier League.
We can be better. But I cannot criticise the mentality of the group and then what we try and give on the pitch, because it's shown it doesn't always work, but we'll continue to try and do the same things and be a team that I enjoy being a part of.
There's full match commentary from Deepdale on BBC Radio Lancashire with Andy Bays and Steve Eyre. Elsewhere in the wide world of sport, Rugby League's Ashes series starts tomorrow with a strong Northwest presence, as you'd expect. Warrington's George Williams captains as England host Australia at Wembley Stadium, with Wigan Warriors legend Sean Wayne the head coach for the first Ashes Test match in 22 years.
The chance to get this on and the first test is at this iconic venue is extra special, and there's going to be 60,000 here, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, and I can't wait to get started.
Well, next Saturday they'll be at Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium for the second test. All 3 series matches are live on BBC One. Let's look to rugby union now, and Sale Sharks could do with a good performance at Leicester Tigers in the Prem tomorrow after last weekend's thrashing at Saracens. Meanwhile, the Sharks women get their season underway tomorrow, also against Leicester Tigers. Having formed 5 years ago, they're yet to finish higher than 7th in the Premiership, but with 3 World Cup winners now in the squad, that could well change. In winning the Rugby World Cup, England made history. Among the try scorers in the final was New Sale Sharks signing Amy Cockayne. Amy is one of 2 roses to arrive in the off-season, which means Sharks now have a trio of world champions. How does it feel to be World Cup winners then? Has it sunk in after these weeks? Anybody?
Yeah, I'm looking straight. I think definitely, yeah. I think the reception we've had
obviously I've previously lost 2, so I know exactly what that feels like. So to finally win it is like, yeah, something we've aimed for and we've done it.
England, world champions!
Yeah, you didn't do the full Jack Grealish celebration that lasted for weeks, no?
No, I don't know, Amy gave it a good one, to be fair.
Oh, did you?
No comment, no comment.
As sports people, you're always on to the next thing, aren't you? So it's kind of like, yeah, we've done that now. We've seen the momentum we can build, and it's about, yeah, getting on the back of that and bringing it back into club.
When you join a club like this, does it need selling much to you?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, I'm a Northwest girl, so it's an easy decision for me to come home.
Other key arrivals are new head coach Tom Hudson, with Sale and England legend Mark Cueto an assistant coach. Tell us about Sale Sharks and what the ambitions are at this club.
Yeah, I think massive. Like, we've obviously had an influx of new talent, and we're really excited to just get going. Like, obviously the past few seasons haven't been our best, and we're just looking forward to new coaching staff, kind of new setup to kind of go after this season, and yeah, started this weekend.
They'll play at Sale FC, which was once home to the Sharks men. The opening game's a sellout.
Hayward Road, much smaller venue, 2,000, 3,000 capacity, and we've already trebled the sales. Excitement is palpable. We've got the World Cup trophy coming along tomorrow night, which we're super excited about.
You're bringing in these star names. Presumably there's a bigger financial outlay in that. Are you sort of speculating to accumulate, if I can sum it up that way?
So we're hopeful that, yes, crowds will increase. Revenue from sponsorship will increase, and it all will sort of click together. But for now, Simon, Jed and I, as owners of the club, think it's really important that we, as a Premiership club, in both men's and women's rugby, play our part to ensure that the Northwest is fully represented in England.
A potentially exciting season lies ahead. Good luck to them, and look, here's a man with a similar physique to me. Having become Britain's first UFC heavyweight world champion, Wigan's Tom Aspinall there defends his title for the first time tomorrow as he fights Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi. Here he is at his final sparring session ahead of that all-important showdown. Annabelle.
Do you have a brother, don't you?
I do,
yeah.
Yes.
You got on with him, yeah?
Yeah.
Older, younger?
He's about 18 months younger than me,
OK, would you get awards, do you think, for looking after him?
Absolutely, yeah. I used to lend him compact discs in the 1990s. He looks a bit like me, so technically I've traded my image rights to him.
Well done.
Which are worth something on the internet.
I've got sisters. I love them dearly, but I'm quite glad they weren't in charge of looking after me.
Oh.
Yeah. But
OK.
2 young brothers have been nominated for a national award for the way that they have looked after their brother, who is deaf and blind. Tom and Max have always looked out for little brother Harvey, and their mum says they played a huge part in making his life that much better. Kelly Foran has been to meet them.
E? Y? Spells?
4-year-old Harvey is deaf and blind. He does have some sight and does what all little boys love to do, playing with his Play-Doh and with his big brothers.
Try again, other way.
Still so young themselves, Max and Thomas have done online sign language courses to communicate with their brother.
My name is Max.
They help Harvey to navigate some of the challenges he faces every day.
Needs help with a lot of things, so like going down the curb he used to need help with it.
And how did you help him?
I would just grab onto his arm and then he would step.
They'll voluntarily say, you know, oh, can you teach me that in sign so I can teach Harvey? The siblings do play a huge part, you know, when, like, there was a time where Harvey trusted nobody and no child apart from what was under his roof.
The boys have been nominated for the Young Sibling of the Year award at national disability charity Senses annual event, which happens next month.
This here, it's real life and it's our life, you know, and it's every day, and it's great, and it's a crazy, chaotic world, but it's you know, we always say normal is boring anyway, you know, there's something new for us, even with the boys, to learn every single day, you know, and I'm still learning, you know, as his parents, so them two certainly are.
The bond between brothers, you don't have to be able to see it. Harvey can feel it.
They are important, just as important as the brother, even if sometimes we do get a bit lost in Harvey's world, you know, they are just as important as him, and they play a significant role in his life, in all our lives, you know.
The best big brothers.
The best big brothers, yeah. We'll have to try and learn that sign, won't we, Harvey? Best big brothers.
Kelly Foran, BBC North West Tonight in Clitheroe.
Oh, lovely brothers, aren't they? Well, good luck to Thomas, Max and, of course, Harvey as well for that award. Right, let's get a look at the weather now with Thomas Schaffernacker.
Well, let's see what Mother Nature's going to throw at us this weekend. We're bound to need our brollies at least at some point or another. But guess what? Not most of the time. In fact, Saturday is looking mostly sunny in the northwest. Rain expected, though, a little bit later on Sunday. This is what it looks like through the course of this evening and overnight. A northerly wind is dragging in some showers, so certainly a chance of catching some wet weather out there. But then towards the end of the night, early hours of Saturday morning, it should dry out. This is what the temperatures will be in towns and cities, typically around 7 Celsius. In rural spots, it will be a little bit colder than that. And then the forecast for Saturday shows a bit of cloud in the morning, maybe the odd shower, but then it's going to be a good day with lots of sunshine around, although we could catch a few showers there in the Isle of Man. Most of the showers should just miss us. I think they'll probably go into northern parts of Wales, so the northwest should be dry on Saturday. And the temperatures a little bit higher than the morning, but not much. 10 Celsius at best. Here's a look at Saturday night. We still have a northerly airstream, so relatively chilly air all the way from the Norwegian Sea, in fact. But early Sunday morning is going to be clear, for most at least, and it's going to be rather on the nippy side. But then later on, look at that. The wind changes direction. It's more of a westerly. We lose that northerly. The clouds thicken and the rain arrives later in the afternoon. Temperatures will rise a little bit, not that you'll notice because of all of that cloud and the rain, up to about 12 Celsius. Quite blustery around the coasts as this weather front moves through during the course of Sunday evening. So mixed bag on the way. Tale of two halves, I guess. Now, the outlook into next week shows a low pressure close by, and there'll be plenty of low pressures heading our way in the week ahead. In fact, next week, that is looking rather unsettled with one low pressure after the other. Let's take a look at the outlook for the northwest then. Mixed bag with sunny spells and showers and rain at times. Temperatures gradually rising just a little bit.
And that is it from us. Now, don't forget that the clocks go back this weekend, so you'll be able to get a bit more of a lie-in. I'll see you on Sunday morning on The Politics Show. And Steve will be here with his update at 10:30. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.